Hey, this is Victor with your Best Body Blueprint. Do you love KFC? Or if you're as old as me, Kentucky Fried Chicken? I'm going to tell you, I love some fried chicken. I'm from South Carolina, so I grew up on the stuff. But guess what? Inflammatory seed oils, breading, bunch of carbs, not what you want to be eating. But I have a version that is healthy, keto, and I'm going to show you how to do it right after this. One of my favorite pieces of chicken from KFC is the drumstick or the chicken leg. It has the most flavor. It's a nice, fatty, tender cut. You can pick it up with one hand, which I love. No utensils involved. It is just delicious. So when I wanted to show you this recipe, this is the first one I wanted to show you. Now the chicken breasts are just a little bit different. I'll do a separate video about that. But to make the legs, you have to start with that famous blend of 11 herbs and spices. So we're going to do that first, and then you'll have enough left over to make it several more times. But that seasoning blend is essential to this. The other essential component is soaking these chicken legs. KFC uses buttermilk to do it. Buttermilk is high in carbs, so we're going to use some almond milk and some unflavored Greek yogurt. It's going to give it that same effect. So let me show you what we need to get started, and let's get into it. I often wondered as a kid why Colonel Sanders had such a huge head and a tiny little body. And then one day I realized that was supposed to be a bow tie. But now that you've seen that, you can't unsee it. Anyway, so here's what you're going to need for the KFC seasoning. It is 11 herbs and spices, secret recipe, a blend of 11 herbs and spices. So here is all 11. You're going to need paprika, white pepper. You're going to need garlic salt. You're going to need regular salt. You're going to need black pepper, ground mustard, ground ginger. You're going to need celery salt. You're going to need ground thyme. You're going to need basil. And you're going to need oregano. And since this is the secret recipe, you're going to need all of these to get that KFC taste. So there are all the ingredients that you need. And I'm going to post the recipe down below so you have all the amounts. So there's no need to write anything down. I'll put all the measurements down below so you can mix this up. Now this will make enough for a whole chicken. So like we're just doing legs, but we're doing 5 legs. So you're going to use about half of this recipe. So you'll have some left over to do chicken breasts or thighs or whatever you want to do. So just save it, put it in an airtight glass container, and you'll be able to use it on another recipe. Since this is a seasoning mix, I'm just going to put the recipe down below, and I'm just going to mix it up, put it in a glass container, and then that way you won't have to watch me mixing all these together. But basically all you do is throw them in a glass container, mix them up really well, and then we're going to use that for our KFC drumsticks. So this is what it looks like when it's all put together in the glass container. This is the secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. So all I have to do at this point is just shake it up. So I'm going to shake that up really well until it's all combined together, and that's our seasoning. So if you've done everything right, and it's hard not to if you followed my recipe, this is what it should look like when you're done. And this is great on pork, it's great on chicken, you can use it on steak. It's really good on anything. It's the perfect all-purpose seasoning for just about anything that you have. But particularly if you want to make a KFC recipe that tastes just like KFC, this is the blend. And this is our mission, our quest, if you will, to make the perfect keto KFC fried chicken. So here's all the things that you need to start this recipe. We need to marinate this for at least a half hour, but I prefer an hour. We're going to need chicken drumsticks. You're going to need some unsweetened almond milk. Make sure you don't get the vanilla almond milk, or you're going to have some ice cream tasting chicken drumsticks. and I don't think anybody wants that. You're gonna need some plain Greek yogurt. You don't want any kind of flavoring in that, just a plain full fat Greek yogurt. And then just some salt and pepper just to season the drumsticks before we start. So we need to marinate this for at least 30 minutes. So I'm going to salt and pepper these drumsticks. You don't need to do a whole lot of salt and pepper because we have that spice blend that's going in there too. But just a good amount. Just salt and pepper to taste. And then I'm going to take a gallon-sized bag. I'm going to dump in this yogurt. Just use the whole container of yogurt. And basically what this is going to do, this is going to be your buttermilk. So instead of marinating in buttermilk, which is higher in carbs, it's going to get rid of a lot of the carbs, but it's still going to make it really tender and get that KFC taste. So we'll just put all that right in the bag, get rid of that, and then we'll dump in the almond milk. And then you just want to kind of mix this around pretty good. Try to get as much of that yogurt incorporated into the milk as you can, because this is your buttermilk. And we'll just set that aside, and we'll go ahead and put these drumsticks right into the marinade. So you got the yogurt, buttermilk, the salt and pepper, and that's all that you need in this. So I'm going to seal this up. I'm going to throw this in the fridge for at least 30 minutes, preferably an hour. Get all the air out of it so that there's more surface contact with the chicken, with that milk. We'll throw it in the fridge. Then every few minutes, just take that out of the fridge, give it a little massage, and then throw it back in there. And then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so for the next step, we're going to take 2 of these eggs. We're going to crack them. Put them in here. And then the other container, you're going to take 1 cup of the pork breadcrumbs, and I'll link my video on how to make these down below so that you can easily make them. It'll be about 1/4 of the price of what you pay in the store. So this is going to be our breading. And some of these come out like this, so you might want to break them up a little bit. And then you just want to take these eggs and you want to beat them like Mike Tyson. No mercy. Beat the crap out of these things. So make sure that's really well combined there. If you've got any of the yolk showing, you want to go back in and beat it a little more. So it should look like that when you get done. You don't want any of the yellow showing. You want it to be pretty well combined mix there. And that's what we're going to dip these in once they come out of the marinade. And then to these pork breadcrumbs, you're going to want to add probably about 1/3 of this KFC seasoning. I'm going to add a link down below for that so you'll know how to make the KFC seasoning. But about 1/3 of it, because the full recipe of that is enough for a full chicken. And we're just using about 5 drumsticks. So about 1/3 of that, and then you've got that much left over to make other chicken later on. So then we're going to plug in our Cool Daddy Elite. And the nice thing about keto is if you use the right oils, you can deep fry. So you want to use some beef tallow or some non-hydrogenated lard. Make sure you look at the label on the lard, because most of the ones in the store now have hydrogenated and non-hydrogenated oils, and you do not want the hydrogenated. So you need to do the natural lard if you do that. The beef tallow is great. They have the Wagyu beef tallow. I'll put a link to some of that down below. That's my favorite. But you want to plug this in, let it get up to temperature. And if you don't have one of these, I'll put a link to that one down below also, so you can get one, because for deep fried food, this is the best thing you can get. So we're going to bread up the drumsticks or chicken legs, whatever you want to call it. We're going to drop them in here, and we're going to have some KFC drumsticks. So what I like to do is lay out one of these racks, because after you dip it in the egg wash and you dip it in the seasoned pork breadcrumbs, You can put it right on the rack for just a little bit, let it sit, and make sure that the breading is all on there, and then we'll go put it in that Cool Daddy. So what you're looking for on this Cool Daddy is when this light goes out, it's time to drop the drumsticks in. All right, so what we're gonna do now is just take it out of the bag, just shake it off a little bit, and we'll roll it around in this egg. And I like to do 2 or 3 at a time, so just shake it off a little. Basically, this almond milk and yogurt mix was to tenderize the chicken just like buttermilk would do. So roll it around there, roll it in the egg wash, and stick it right in there. And we'll do a couple pieces at a time. Just make sure you shake it off really well so there's not a lot of extra moisture getting in there. Coat it in this egg wash and put it right in here. Now you could also do this in a gallon bag. I do that a lot of times. But for this one, I just wanted to put it in here just to show you. You just can coat this really well like that. Make sure it sticks. Then we'll shake it off, put it right on this rack. And I'll just grab a little bit more and throw it on. Because once it goes inside the lard, it's going to stick. You just want to make sure it's coated really well before you go in there. So I'm going to do these couple more, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So now these are fully breaded. We're going to move them over and put them in the Cool Daddy.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to open up the Alright, so here's what they look like when they're ready. It takes about 10 minutes, maybe a little less. You just need to check them and see how they look. These are going to be perfect. So when it's done, this is what it looks like. So I'm serving this with some green beans and some mustard. And it's going to be delicious. Hope y'all enjoy this. So why do I make a lot of fast food videos? Because I love fast food. And I bet if you're watching this video, you do too. And you can still have all the foods you love and just make them healthy. And that's what a lot of this channel content is all about. Making sure you can have your favorite foods, but that don't affect your body in a negative way. I'm going to continue coming out with these videos. I've eaten every fast food there is in the world. I worked at McDonald's when I was a teenager, so I've been around it. That's where I developed the love for it. And the fast food is addictive, and it's like that by design. But guess what? You can still get the taste. You can still make it healthy. So if you want to see more of these videos, subscribe to my channel. There's a little button right down there that you hit to subscribe. Maybe it's down there. I know the bell's on this side. So the bell makes sure you get all the videos when they come out. You get a notification saying that I have put out another video. And chances are good it's going to be a fast food video. If not, it's going to be some delicious Southern cooking, or it may be a drink that you love. But anyway, if you like good food, I think you're going to like this channel. I enjoy making these videos for you. I enjoy eating the food even more. I really hope you make these KFC drumsticks. And when you do, leave me a comment down there and let me know how you liked them. I try to make these recipes as easy as possible. This one had a few more ingredients than what I like to use, but that's because of that spice blend. So there's no getting around that. You just have to have it. And I hope that you guys like it. And I really, really appreciate you watching. And I hope to see you on the next video.